Fungi are bodies of cells. They're just like almost like a large spider web or network, and they can sense temperature changes, changes. They can, the cells that are on the front line are like the first responders. I call those the infantry cells, but they are generally the ones that signal back to the rest of the body about what's going on, the most up-to-date information. And if that up-to-date information is not good, they will signal back for the mushroom to respond favorably by producing antibiotics or something to give it an advantage, to give it an edge. And it does it quickly, almost instantaneously. I think that's pretty clever. The fact is that the pharmacy companies like Merck, Pfizer, they've stopped their research, their internal funding and the research on gram-negative bacteria. The CEO will blatantly tell you that, the truth. We're not working on gram-negative bacteria anymore. Well, that's a huge problem. So,
what's gram-negative bacteria?
Well, it's a class. There's gram-positive and negative. So there's a lot of pathogens in that group that are becoming drug-resistant, and there's some gram-positives as well. Well, these are dangerous organisms. So we've had these companies pull us through the 60s and 70s and 80s, believing that we have the magic BB all the time. Well, they've just pretty much shut the door. I believe they shut the door on us, and now it's just we're going to hit the wall, and the drug-resistant organisms are now speeding up because they're not producing any more antibiotics for us anymore. So it's almost like we got cut off. And unless we come up, this was a NIH, it came down from the White House, and it says that for the security, national security, biosecurity of the United States, we better come up with something quick because these bugs are mutating really fast. It only takes 2.5 years for them to become drug resistant. And the way that these bacteria are being promiscuous is that they are trading genes, and it only takes one plane flight from India or somewhere else in the world, we know that now, to where something can become, can spread. And typically it's through hospitals right now. So those organisms are of high interest to me because I think that nobody's really stepped up to the plate and challenged, I guess, the fungal kingdom the way we're doing it. And I admit, I'm humbled by everything that's going on because it was a total accident. And I just keep chasing it. And I keep chasing the rabbit down the hole. But things keep happening, which seems really good. We're able to, instead of a traditional mass production of antibiotics that everybody's taking, and I tell people at my talks, we're cattle. We're inoculating just like the cows and the chickens. We're all taking the same thing. There is a high degree of a chance that we're going to be, dealing with drug-resistant organisms. And it already has. It's happening. So I like the idea of a more natural approach, which would be a patient-by-patient antibiotic. Okay? And how that works is pharmaceutical drugs, it's a purified molecule, it's powdered, and it has a mechanism for disrupting, let's say, a bacteria. It could be the cell membrane synthesis, or it could directly lyse the cell. It could deny it a certain protein. It can affect its motility. It can go after its flagella, something like that, to impair it. There's only one problem with that. That's only one hurdle. And you've got millions of these bacteria, in our system, billions, countless, that are trading genes for antibiotic resistance. And they can get right around that hurdle very quickly and easily. Bacteria double every 16 minutes. A new one, new colonies. We're dealing with something that could figure out the puzzle quickly. Medicinal fungi operate on the mode that it's holistically if you make an extract or consume mushrooms, that you are getting a broad spectrum of compounds that mushroom is manufactured. Mushrooms are very animal-like. They can get bacterial diseases. Mushrooms can get viral infections, just like people do. But what they've figured out over these millions of years is they have the genetics to actually manufacture their own antibiotics and their own antivirals. I wish we could do that. but it's just genes that are silent genes that are turned on and off. And that's what we're finding is that my vision is to see these little cakes that we've been making in the hospitals or the healing centers, anywhere, even in India or Haiti. It's a pharmaceutical company in a bag, and it's mushrooms are like assembly lines. So if you give them a challenge, or if they come into contact with a bacteria, they're going to sweat out that antibiotic specifically for that ecotype that they're touching. So my idea is to take that off of a patient that walks in, use swab or throat culture or biopsy, flesh-eating bacteria into the well, and then it sweats out the antibiotic within 24 to 48 hours. And that's to me is just simple, it's natural, and it's a cocktail. So it's not purified, I asked at Clemson University, I asked the lead investigator that's using our license, our patent is, she was on camera, and I said, if you were in a hospital, this is the researcher, if you were in a hospital and the doctor said you have a bacteria and it's drug resistant all the way down, even though we're in the beginning stages of this research, would you drink what comes out of that bag? Would you take that? And she said, absolutely. That's how strong. I get goosebumps, see?
It's pretty cool.
It's amazing. And for someone who's into doing the research, you gotta say, yeah, to put all your chips on that and trust. This is the old way of doing microbiology, This is the Jenner mindset, where if we're that confident to use it on ourselves, I told the NIH people, I don't think we got the grant the first round because we had very little data. I said, please consider this for an emergency use, It hurts my feelings to know that people are dying because there's no option, and then now we're taking cocktails, and the more cocktails you make, the more cytotoxic it is. And it's just we're destroying ourselves. Our only option is going to be three to five different drugs all at once. That's not healing at that point.